Demonstrator Teresa Harper. I'm located in Oregon in the United States. Wow, looks like I can zoom in. Nice. Let's see how that looks. Okay, let's get this up and see what we got going. Okay, I'm going to start with some housekeeping. And this is your reminder that hello, Tracy. Your reminder that let me go to live chat. There we go. Thank you. Okay. So this is your reminder that the January product of the month, Fabulous Saying Stamp Set, we're at the end of this for January, of course, because January ends on Saturday. Fabulous Sayings will be available while supplies last only. And then starting on February 3rd, there should be a new February product of the month. Hello, Cynthia. Hello, Jeanne. Where are you watching from? So nice to have you here. Is this your first time? I don't recognize the name, but welcome. So glad you're here. So we've got, let me see if I can zoom out a little bit. This is a new thing. I wasn't able to zoom before, but I can now. Oh, Southern Oregon. Yeah. Okay. I think I know who you are. We've talked on other channels. So we've talked about the product of the month. Let's talk about bonus days. These are just about to end. This is the earning period, and it ends on February 2nd. So if you shop and spend $50 here in the US, then you can get a $5 coupon that Stampin' Up will email to you, and then you can start spending those on February 3rd, and that goes through the 28th. Now, if you earn a bonus coupon, you want to be very, very sure that you spend that in February, because on February 28th, it goes away and you can't get it back. So just a reminder on that. And then we have an offer starting on February 3rd that goes through March 2nd, that if you join Stampin' Up as a demonstrator, then in your starter kit, which is $99, you get to choose $125 of anything in the online store that you wish. And you get to choose up to $125. You cannot go over $125 by even a penny. So you need to know that. And then if you do that between February 3rd and March 2nd, Stampin' Up is going to throw in this stamp positioner tool for you for free. Okay? You'll get all of these pieces except for this grid paper. This is not part of the offer. The grid paper is separate. And I did purchase that. So, okay, so there's my housekeeping for you. I've got a cool little trick that I discovered with this new little positioner thing that we're going to use. Oh, Jan, you and me both. I'm hoping for some dies that go along with one of these standalone stamp sets as the product of the month in February. Like, I don't know, maybe some dies to go with the Good Luck stamp set or the collecting shell collecting stamp set, something like that. That would be awesome. But we'll have to wait and see. Okay, let's go ahead and fold tonight. And this fun fold that I'm doing is called the Pop Out Panel Fun Fold. So I'm going to bring these pieces in. This is your card base. It's 5.5 by 8.5. Okay. And so when we get this scored, which I'll show you those scoring measurements here in a minute, This is going to look kind of like a little M. Okay. And then we're also going to have this pop-out panel. And this is 1 3/4 by 8 1/4. Now you can make this taller or shorter. You can't make it, don't change the dimensions this way, because I tried re-engineering it and it didn't work. I could not figure out how to re-engineer it because I tried hard. But you can definitely go 2 inches, you could go 1.5 inches, you could do whatever you need to hold your thing. And what we're going to do with this is we're going to take this, fold it like this. This goes in here in the center of your card. And you'll want to make sure that you get it as close to the center as possible. Trust me on this. Otherwise, your card might not stand up very well. Okay? So that's how that's going to look, and then we'll put our focal image there. So let's go ahead and get started on engineering our card. And okay, so we've got this piece that's 5 1/2 by 8 1/2. And we're going to put this into our, I like my scoring tool. Of course, you can always use your Stampin' trimmer, but this is my preferred. And we're going to score this at 2 1/8, 4 1/4, and 6 3/8. Okay, so again, 2 1/8, 4 1/4, 6 3/8. Now, technically, you could flip this over and do your 4 1/4 in the opposite direction. Okay, because we're going to be folding them opposite. Then we're going to take that 1 3/4 by 8 1/4 inch piece. And we're going to score this at, oh, freaked myself out for a minute, you guys. Hello, Laura. 2 1/8, 3 1/8, 5 1/8, and 6 1/8. Okay, 2 1/8, 3 1/8, 5 1/8, 6 1/8. Okay, and again, this is 1 3/4 by 8 1/4. So those are our two pieces that we need to make our pop-out panel card work. Okay, so we're going to take and we're going to fold the center line of our base card just like we normally would. Okay, then we're going to fold the two smaller sections back like so. Okay, and that's what's going to give us our, you can call it a W fold or an M fold, however you want, but we're going to use it this way. Okay, and then we're going to take this piece, we're going to fold this back, this forward. Okay, this back, and this forward. So that is going to look like that. All right? You with me so far? Okay. Now we're going to take this piece and we're going to fold that up like that and make it look like a T. Okay? Our adhesive is going to go on these long sections on the sides. So let's get some adhesive. The easiest way to do this is to fold that up and hold it tight like that. Okay. Put some glue in there. Then I'm going to take this piece again. I'm going to lift this up. I'm going to set this in the middle We don't have enough lights on. That's what we got too much shadow. There we go. I hope that helps. I was like, why is it so dark here? Okay, got it. I forgot to turn some lights on. So we're just going to set this about in the middle, like so, and then I'm going to take and just fold it up. And if I'm too high or too low before I really press that down, which I am, too high, too low, move that down just a tiny little bit. There we go. Okay. Now I can take and fold this back. Give that a good press. Okay. And now we have this. This is how our card looks. Okay. Give that a good press there. That a good press there. All right. So this is the mechanism for our card. Right now, all we need to do is decorate. Okay. So you're going to need some designer series paper. Or in this case, I've taken very vanilla cardstock and the Stone and Vine 3D embossing folder. And I had a piece set here. I was going to show you how I did that. Now what do I do with that piece? Oh, there it is, hiding. There we go. Okay, so these pieces, you need 2, actually you need 4 of these. Or you can use 2 different kinds of designer series paper or what have you. But for this card, I'm using 4 of these. So these are 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. And what I've done with these is this is what it looked like. Okay. And then I took my light old olive Stampin' blend and I just scribbled on some color on those leaves like so, and then followed the little curly cues with my tip. Now because this is raised, it's really pretty easy to do, and it doesn't take that long because you're not being, the thing about this is that because it's all raised, the ink tends to bleed pretty good. Okay, so you're just going to do that on 2 of them till you have all of those done. Okay, and then I'm going to take these and I'm going to glue them on. And I'm going to use liquid glue because this is a 3D embossing folder and it is pretty thick. Okay, so I'm going to put one over here on this side. Center that up. Okay, I'm going to take this one. And remember, these are 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. All right. I saw this fold by Jackie Williams, who's a demonstrator in Australia. Okay, so I've got that. Now, you can leave these 2 blank if you wish, but I kind of liked putting my paper in. So what I did was I didn't color in the very center because I don't need to. That's not going to show. And so these are the same measurement, 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. And I'm just going to take this and slide it in. And then it's going to cover that mechanism so you're not going to see those back pieces. It's going to look all neat, clean, and tidy on the inside. If anybody wants to look. Okay, and we're just going to lay this down flat over here. And actually, I'm going to turn this around this way so it's a little bit less awkward. Just give that a good press. And this is what we have so far. Okay? Pretty cool, huh? All right. Now I've got another piece of very vanilla, and this again is 1 7/8 by 5 1/4, and I'm going to put this on the back. But I'm going to show you a cool little trick with the Stampin' Positioner that I discovered. So ordinarily with this stamp positioner, you would take this little plate here and you would put this on here, and then you would put this here and you would stamp, okay? But you do not need this base plate all the time, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece of Very Vanilla. I've already mounted my stamp, and this is a red rubber stamp. I've already mounted it because I can see here that things are straight. I like this grid. It lets me see that I've got my stamp on straight. Then I'm going to ink this up with my Memento Tuxedo Black. Okay. I'm going to bring this over and I'm going to very carefully set it down. And that stamp is not touching my cardstock. So I can move it slightly. I can line it up with my grid lines on my paper to make sure, or on my Glass Mat Studio, to make sure that that's all nice and straight. And then I'm just going to give that a press and lift it up. And there is my sentiment. All right. So then the other piece that we need for the back of this, I've cut from the Cute as a Bug Designer Series paper. And this is an edge piece. So this is just to show you that you don't have to throw your edge pieces out. I fussy cut this out of the Designer Series paper. And I'm just going to take this, put a little liquid glue on it. And then I'm going to stick this in the corner, the bottom right corner here. And you're not going to know that I cut that out of the edge. Okay. Now my inside piece is ready to go. I'm going to take that, put some tape on there, and then I'm going to put this right here on this piece. Now you could decorate up the back if you wish, but I'm just doing this one little section here just so I have something to write on. If this isn't enough room for you, put on another piece of Very Vanilla, the same 1 7/8 by 5 1/4, and then you'll have more room. Okay, so here we are. Now let's go ahead and decorate our front. So I took another piece of Very Vanilla cardstock, ran it through, cut it with the arched Everyday Arches dies, and I used the 5th largest of the dies to cut this out. And then after I cut it, I ran it through the Stone and Vine embossing folder, colored it with the Old Olive. And now this, we're going to add some images to. Because the Sweet Bugs is on back order and you can't order it right now, and I started this week on this, I'm pretty much using my Cute as a Bug paper today. And so this comes from here. Now, if you don't, this is a piece that I fussy cut, but if you don't want to fussy cut, the Sweet as a Bug dies, which are in stock, do cut out these images. So you could cut those and use those. It won't cut this one and it won't cut the praying mantis, but it does cut the little caterpillar, the ants, this ladybug. No, not this ladybug. This ladybug reading, the beetle, the bee, the watering can, the mushrooms, all of those things can be cut. There's even some flowers that you can cut. There's quite a bit in that paper that you can cut. But I wanted to use this adorable image. And so we're going to use this one. And I fussy cut it from the paper because I don't mind fussy cutting. And I'm going to take this and put some Stampin' Dimensionals on. And then I'm going to pop this up. I need to cut one of these in half. Use one of these edge pieces here for this. And it's probably overkill on my, oh, this might be too tight. Yep, it's going to be too tight. So we're going to cut that down. Put that on. And then I'll just use this up here on the little beetle's head. Grab another piece of that. Put on this beetle's head just to give it enough support. I like to use plenty of dimensionals so that when I mail my card, it doesn't squish down. Okay, so we've got that. And then we're going to put this down here. Okay. And then I'm going to add this to my card. We're almost done here. But obviously this piece is way bigger than this piece. So I'm going to put some liquid glue on this piece. And that way I can't mess that up. And then I'll just, this doesn't lay quite flat, so I'm just going to eyeball this as best I can here. Put that on, try to make it center it. And then I'll reach in from behind and give that a good press so that it adheres to that liquid glue. Okay. Now, let's get our stamp again. And we're going to take a piece of Very Vanilla, which apparently I didn't cut. Oh, I put it away. That's why I had that piece out. Silly me. Don't you love it when you're too efficient and you put things away that you need? Okay. So I'm going to take my Memento Tuxedo Black again. And I'm going to pull this off of here very gently. Got a cat hair on there. And then I'm going to stamp this here like this. And this sentiment and the back sentiment come from, what did I do with it? The Right Words. And sorry, but this is out of stock too. It'll be back on February 9th though, the week of February 9th. So I took the happy birthday and the to someone we're celebrating every single day from The Right Words. It's a really good stamp set and it will be most likely retiring. It'll be on the last chance list come April because it's a red rubber stamp, and Stampin' Up! Has already told us that they are getting rid of red rubber stamps because they can't get the raw materials to make the red rubber. Okay, so then I'm going to take my 3 banner punch. I love this punch. It's back in stock, everybody. So if you need to get it, be sure to do that sooner rather than later, because it'll be gone again, and then you won't be able to get it for a while again. Okay, it's been very, very popular. Okay, so I'm going to take this one, and I'm going to put a dimensional mostly in the center. Not quite, obviously, because I didn't do that right. And I'm going to put a glue dot in just a bit, and then in just a bit. And then I'm going to add this over here. That's going to give that a little bit of lift and dimension. And I'm just going to put that right up here, making sure that I don't go outside the bounds of my card so that it fits in the envelope. I think I'm pretty straight there. Yep. Okay. Whoops. Now I unstraightened it. Did I? I didn't take the backing off. That's a problem. Okay. There we go. That's pretty straight. All right. Now, again, I've got a butterfly that I fussy cut out of the Cute as a Bug paper. I'm going to take my Wink of Stella glitter brush, and I'm going to put some glitter on my butterfly wings. Then I'm going to give this a dimensional or 2. Like so. Add this up here. Now I want to make sure when I go to close this that my butterfly is still going to be seen when my card is closed. So I'm going to close it up, put my butterfly up here. You saw how I closed that, right? Boop. Like so, and it'll lay flat to go in the envelope. And now all we need is a few embellishments. Okay, so for those, we're taking the Cute as a Bug, well, they're Ladybug Garden epoxy stickers. So we're going to take those, and I'm going to grab a ladybug, and I'm going to put one over here, like so. And then I'm going to put one down here, like so. And that, my friends, is our card. Okay? So then when you sit it open, you can see the happy birthday. And it's just very cute. That's what it looks like. That is what I have for you this evening. I'm so glad you guys like that. Oh, thank you, Jan. I've had a lot of practice on the fussy cutting. I used to not fussy cut, believe it or not. I used to have my friend Missy do all my fussy cutting for me because I hated it so much, but I've gotten to where I don't mind it at all. So there we are. Thanks so much for joining me tonight. Oh, let me show you what I did with my envelope because I always like to show that. So this image here is from my favorite envelope stamp set. addressed to you. I've taken this one, I turned it upside down, and then I stamped in the image from the Sweet Bugs. This little one right here. Colored the leaf in Old Olive, dark and light, and then I used light pumpkin pie and the dark and light petal pink for my little caterpillar here. All right, that's what I have for you this evening. I appreciate you joining me. If you liked what you saw, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you will know whenever I post a new video and or go live. All right, everybody, thanks so much for joining me. You can see how quick and easy that fold is. And I will be back on Facebook Tuesday night at 7, and then back here next week on Thursday night at 7. We'll see you soon. Good night.